Do you remember
Sadly,
the last rider to win in the Belgium national champs jersey in the Tour de France?
Probably Wout van Aert.
Mont Ventoux. Yeah.
Wout van Aert. Mont Ventoux. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was vintage. I mean, that was the Wout in his prime. You know, he won a big mountain stage, he won the time trial, and a bunch sprint on the Champs-Élysées. That's crazy.
Prime Wout.
I'm the 2012 Tour de France winner, Sir Bradley Wiggins.
And I'm Johan Bruyneel. I directed my teams to 9 Tour de France victories. Welcome to the Sir Wiggo and Johan Show, our daily show where we dive deep into the tactics behind every stage of the Tour de France.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our show. As every day, presented by Ketone IQ. We're going to talk about stage 15 of this year's Tour de France, from Muret to Carcassonne, how would you call it, a transition stage, I would say 170 kilometers, 2,500 meters of elevation. Before, we had speculation, could it be for sprinters, would it be a breakaway? We're going to talk about all that with Bradley Wiggins. Bradley, what did you make of today's stage? What's Bradley's take of the day?
Well, I mean, there was a lot to speak about today, but obviously mine is combined. The win of Tim Wellens and the complete how in control UAE are now in this whole Tour de France, especially with Tim Wellens' victory today. But combined with that, what appears to be the complete disarray of Visma and their tactics again today, you know, with the crash that happened, which put Jonas out the back. The lack of, communication maybe between those guys when that was happening, and Wout van Aert was trying to get in the break. Matteo Jorgensen was still trying to get in the break. Tadej was trying to tell Visma that Jonas was out the back, and that complete disarray. But, that combined, Tim Wellens attacking, sitting in the break, not doing any work, and then attacking 47K to go, or wherever it was, and winning the stage. So the two contrasting big teams in this race, and how in control UAE are, and what appears the complete disarray of Visma and their tactics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. UAE is really in a great position. And on top of that, you can see that the pressure is really off there. They are on a high, and, it happens sometimes that, teammates go in breakaways. I heard you guys on the show talk about that. George forgot his win, for example, in 2005. He was in exactly the same situation. It was a mountain stage. He was in the break, also had the excuse of not having to pull, and then finally he won on top of Pladadet against Oscar Pereiro, for example. I agree. Tim Wellens, what a performance! After his incredible performance in the Belgian Championships, and the level he has shown here in this Tour de France since day one, is really, he deserves to win this stage.
So I'll talk a little bit about our first sponsor, Johan. It's Join. Join is the #1 training app that puts professional cycling coach right in your pocket. You don't need a big goal to benefit from training. Join helps you stay fit, focused, and consistent even when there's no event in sight. Join keeps it interesting with challenges, variety, and smart progression. With over 400 World Tour level workouts for road, mountain bike, and gravel, Join creates personalized training plans that adapt to your schedule and performance in real time. It even recalibrates when you miss a workout. It prevents overtraining before it even starts, and it's designed by experts with World Tour level experience. Join helps cyclists of all levels maximize progress while avoiding overtraining. So whether you're training for your first century, your next race, or just want to be stronger when you ride, Join makes professional cycling coaching accessible to everyone. Join is your #1 cycling training app. You can now test Join 30 days for free. Download Join today and improve your ride.
Okay, Bradley. So the stage starts. We all thought, let's wait until we are in the middle of the stage. Not much going on, but we had this big crash early in the race, as you said, and a lot of riders went down. It was full on race for the breakaway. Again, I guess this is standard now. No, every stage we do, the first 2 hours, it's 50 kilometers per hour. But Jonas and Lipowitz were the two main guys involved, and as you say, it was chaos. Tadej was in front. He tried to slow down the race a little bit. But you can see, even in the case of a guy like Pogačar, he's in yellow, but, it's a 3-week stage race. The danger is really behind every corner. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, when I turned it on, it was, I saw, obviously, Mathieu van der Poel was in the front again. I mean, that guy's...
Yeah.
And, of course, he won that first intermediate sprint, which now really puts him in prime position to potentially win that competition. That's going to be a really good fight the next few weeks, the next week. And I do fear for Milan now that competition is over for him, and it's just a matter of time before either Mathieu or Tadej now assert their leadership on that jersey.
Yeah, I think that, if Milan and Little Trek look back, not being there that first stage, that's going to be expensive. Yeah, that's going to be very expensive. He would probably have been top 3 in that first stage. Mathieu van der Poel, what a rider. He's still, it's not going to be easy. I think personally that probably the biggest candidate is Tadej, because although there's less points in the hard stages, the mountain stages, but he's going to score points in all of them. There's still, so there's the Ventum, there's Col de la Loze, there's La Plagne, right? Those are the 3 main hard stages we have left. Then there's Paris, where I think Pogačar and Van der Poel have more chances to score points than Jonathan Milan. And then the other 2 stages are probably going to be breakaway stages. Maybe the stage after the Ventoux could be maybe a sprint. We don't know. I mean, they kind of have to, right? I mean, Little Trek will have to make sure.
Yeah, they've got no choice, have they? They have no choice now. They have to commit everything to this green jersey. They've got to this point. But the same as De Koenig, Alpecin, they're going to have everything towards this green jersey competition and the intermediate sprints. Of course, we got the Ventoux stage. There's an intermediate sprint of 112 kilometers, which is a long way to try and control the peloton for that. Yeah, but that's their big priority, and it has to be their priority in the running to Paris is that green jersey competition. But it's going to be interesting. It's a great fight. We've got the best GC rider in the world, the best classics rider in the world, and one of the fastest sprinters in the world, all fighting for green.
That's quite unique. Yeah,
it's very unique.
Yeah. I mean, it would be amazing also, like for Alpecin, right? I mean, so they won 2 stages now, Philipsen and Mathieu. And then Philipsen crashes out. If they could still win the green jersey with Mathieu, that would be quite something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, back to today's stage. So, finally there's this break forming. There was a lot of confusion, as you said, Bradley, with the crash. And, we had Wout van Aert and Victor Kampenaerts, who obviously had the mission today to go in the breakaway and try to win the stage. And so they were there with Tadej. Obviously, crashes, you cannot plan for that, right? And I think, as soon as they saw, I think that Jonas was okay. I don't think he went down. I think he was just held up.
Yeah, he was.
Or somebody ran into his bike or something because he had to do a bike change afterwards. But as soon as you see that that's okay, I kind of can understand that they didn't call Victor and Wout van Aert back. It also is telling, I think, that they're focusing now on stage wins. Yesterday with Sepp Kuss and Simon Yates in the break, today with Van Aert and Victor. Does that mean, in your opinion, that they have given up on winning the Tour de France and that they focus on stage wins?
No, I don't think that they've given up. I think far from it. I just think they have to try and deploy a different tactic now and give riders that have committed themselves and sacrificed their chances of winning stages a chance to just get up the road and see what happens. Yeah, we know how difficult it is to, your odds of winning a stage from being in a break are very slim, even if you're in the break. It's one of the hardest things to do. You don't get too many opportunities either, which makes Tim Wellens' ride today even more impressive because, he's done an incredible job for Tadej this whole Tour de France. And yes, he got to sit on and marshal that break today. But regardless of anything, you have to be there. You have to be in a position to win. But he attacked probably the place you least expect someone to attack. And they didn't let him go away. They rode, I think it was Barguil. Was it Barguil? Was the
Barguil.
He
Barguil
was at 5-10 meters.
Yeah.
He was at hovering, 3 meters, 5 meters, 5, 6 meters, 7 meters for a good kilometer. And then he sat up after the hairpin bend. Then, Quinn Simmons tried and Tim just did not stop going and going and going until eventually the elastic broke. So he did it in the hardest way, and no one can accuse him of slipping off the front unnoticed. So, and he took his opportunity, and he did 46 kilometers solo and put time into him all the way to the finish.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a copy of what he did in the Belgian Championships with Remco, and with Philipsen. And also, I mean, Bradley, people say, he was sitting on, but people, I don't think people really understand how tired these guys are. I mean, the amount of work Tim Wellens has been doing since stage 1.
Yeah.
These guys are tired, man, like super tired. And you're right. I mean, when he took off, he just broke everybody's legs, man. It was pure on power, and it was telling to see Barguil. He was trying, and all of a sudden he just had to sit down, and then you could see. I thought personally, I said maybe Kampenaerts is going to try now. He just was on the limit. Also, he had to stay where he was. Quinn Simmons again in the breakaway. That guy's on some form, in this.
Yeah, I mean he's very aggressive. He gets himself into again, going back to the breakaway, just to make the breakaway as often as he does is something in itself.
Yeah.
We often talk daily about, guys want to try and make the breakaway, teams that miss the breakaway. Quinn Simmons I actually forget how many breaks he's been in this Tour de France.
Many.
Yeah. Very, very consistent.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't seem to be able to pull it off when it matters in the end, when the attacks go. We saw it the other day with Ben Healy. We saw it today with Tim Wellens. But, it's a learning experience, isn't it? It's a learning experience getting in those breaks and learning, how to decipher the winning move and where to expend your energy. And if you are riding through and someone's sitting on you, where to anticipate them attacking. And so, Quinn has got many years ahead of him, but no one can fault him for his aggressive riding in this Tour.
No, I spoke with him briefly when I was at the Tour, and I told him, I said, man, you have to believe you have a stage win in your legs. You just need to be a little bit more calm, and I think I'm not going to say mistakes. It's kind of normal because this is completely new for him. But he's so strong, and he's showing too much his strength. Especially if you look at Bradley, at some point there were 8 guys, right? So first of all, it was Quinn Simmons, Michael Sturr, Victor Kampenaerts, Tim Wellens. Already there, having Kampenaerts and Wellens there, that's like a red flag. You need to say, okay, I need to be careful here. Yeah. I need to really, really, really be conservative. Then after that, Warren Barguil, Lutsenko, Carlos Rodriguez, and Vlasov join. I mean, those 8 riders, that's like top of the world. And Quinn is so strong that, for example, when Sturrer went on that steep climb, he was the guy who tried to close it down. I mean, at that point, I think you should probably have a little bit more, be more cold-blooded and say, okay, hey, it's still far to go. I'll let Kampenaerts, because Kampenaerts is going to take his tempo and he's going to come back. Especially after seeing how good he climbs yesterday on Super Bagnères, right? So there's still.
Do you know what? It was actually funny, Johan, watching Tim away. I was reminded of my teenage years watching Ludo Dieriksen, God rest in peace, who died this year, win in a very similar manner in the Belgium Championship jersey. And it's always a special to win as national champion in the Tour, isn't it?
Man, yeah, I think it's
to display that jersey is incredible.
Yeah. Now for Tim Wellens, this is great. This is amazing, but to win it in the we call it the driekleur, the tricolors. It's I mean, I think it's probably one of the best championship jerseys in the peloton. And you're right. Ludo Dieriksen won. Was it 2000 or 1998?
I think 99, maybe 99.
Not 99, not 98, 99 or 2000.
Yeah.
Also a solo attack. I think about 35K from the finish. He was riding for Lampre back
yes.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Sadly,
the last rider to win in the Belgium national champs jersey in the Tour de France?
Probably Wout van Aert.
Mont Ventoux. Yeah.
Wout van Aert. Mont Ventoux.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That was vintage. I mean, that was the Wout in his prime. You know, he won a big mountain stage. He won the time trial and a bunch sprint on the Champs-Élysées. That's crazy.
Prime
crazy.
Wout. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. But also, I mean, Bradley, you know, what we see is, I mean, this is how much all of this has changed and how much the level of everybody is unbelievably high. Like a stage like today, normally, let's say you have those 4 or those 8 riders, right? That's like game over. Everybody knows, okay, these 8 guys are gone. We're done. We're just, you know, sitting up. Nobody's
and you
set
roll in,
up.
you know, you'd have rolled in 20 minutes down 20 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Crazy
here we still have, you know, because the group behind them. I mean, like Wout and Alaphilippe. I mean, they came back very late in the stage. You know, they just keep going.
Incredible. It's amazing, isn't it? How much it has changed. You know, yeah. When you think that this whole Tour de France so far, the break that has got the most time in a breakaway to the finish line is probably the day Ben Healy. Was that right? Was that probably?
Probably.
That was, probably. You know, they rolled in 3 minutes down, 4 minutes down.
Yeah.
I mean,
and at some point, I think they got like 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, but no break has gotten like a lot of time. We'll see what happened. But I mean, the way this is going, there's in theory, there's 2 other stages where a breakaway can go. I mean, a part of mountain stages, of course, but you know, like the 2 other stages that could be a breakaway day, and I'm gonna guess they're not gonna get a lot of time. They're gonna have to really fight for it, you know. Before we go on about Tim Wellens, I want to talk about Ketone IQ, our presenting sponsor. It's widely known that ketones are very, very used now in the peloton in many endurance sports. It's been scientifically proven that ketones boost athletic performance. In a placebo-controlled study with trained athletes, Ketone IQ boosted average sprint power by 19%, peak power by 13%, cut fatigue by 10%, and spiked blood ketones 5 times in just 20 minutes. On top of that, they've discovered that ketones help for a faster recovery, very much needed in the Tour de France. Ketone IQ recently teamed up with Team Visma Leasebike and with the University of Leuven to explore recovery and high-altitude adaptation. The key findings: improved blood flow, higher muscle oxygenation for better endurance and stamina. So take your shot, get 20% off your order at ketone.com/themove and use the code THEMOVE at checkout. So that's ketone.com/themove with the code THEMOVE. Tim Wellens, let's talk about him for probably for the rest of the show, because you know, he's in that break. He goes with 44 kilometers from the finish, and as we said, you know, he basically he went, and at that moment I heard an interview of Victor. Did you hear the interview of Victor Kampenaerts after the finish? He said, you know, Tim Wellens, you know, he says as soon as he knew that Tim Wellens was there, he said, I'm really getting along with Tim Wellens, you know, off the bike. But on the bike, I know he's one of the strongest opponents and also a sneaky and crafty guy in breakaways, which turned out to be the case. The guy knows how to race, right? I thought, I mean, finally, you know, Kampenaerts comes in second. And he's showing incredible form. But man, Wellens, he just went faster and faster and faster. And then, rather, I just want to talk a little bit about the relationship with Tadej Pogačar. We heard him several times on the radio, right?
Yeah.
So obviously he got the information that Tim was away.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can see that they're how close they are. I wonder if they're rooming together on this Tour de France. So, well, you know, because they seem to have a very, very good relationship. And you could see how happy Tadej was that Tim Wellens was off the front. And he said, was it something along the lines, zip that Belgium champs jersey up, show it off? You know,
he said, well, what did he say again? Does Tim tell Tim he looks fantastic or something like that? Or I mean, it's nice to see, you know, how the leader wants one of those loyal, I mean, great teammates to win. You know how much it means. I mean, we already saw early in the first week that Tadej actually wanted Tim to be on the podium in the pocket jersey. I mean, it seems a long time ago, but
it was a long time ago.
And yeah, I mean, that's actually how much in control UAE is, right? I mean, we hear Tadej over the radio asking information about his teammate who's up the road. So how nice is that?
Yeah. Was it their fifth stage win of the race now?
Tadej already won 4, right?
Yeah.
So he did he win 4?
4.
I think so. Yeah, it's their fifth. And it's not finished. It's not finished.
No. And it's funny, you know, I sort of how in control UAE are now of this race as a team as well. They seem very calm, collected, and they really recovered well from, they looked a bit disorganized a week ago when they lost Almeida. We were a bit concerned about them, that they were short on numbers. Yeah. But my God, they've stepped up in the last few days in the Pyrenees. And it helps when you've got a leader like Tadej winning as he does. But Novaris, is that how you pronounce it? Narvaez, sorry. He's excelled without Almeida there.
Yeah.
Tim Wellens has been a rock this last couple of weeks. But Siakov, he was doing a great job in the mountains yesterday, going back, getting the rain capes on the Tourmalet. Soler has stepped up as well. They've all stepped their game up.
Niels Pollitt,
yeah, another one. But you know, that's I think that is also the mark of someone like Tadej, how vocally he is on the radio with everyone. He makes everyone else feel 10 times bigger. And his demeanor as a leader around those other guys has brought them up. That's a sign of a good leader, isn't it? Yeah. And I think sometimes, you know, there is a difference between Jonas has a different way of leading, very quiet, very, you know, leads by example on the bike and stuff. But there is, it's interesting. There's no right way of leading a team. I think everyone has their own styles and it's reflective of your personality and your character. But Jonas has definitely made everyone around him feel 10 feet taller.
Yeah. Tadej, you mean Tadej?
Tadej. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think it's the secret of a team with a guy, first of all, who's in the yellow jersey. You know, I mean, Bradley, you've been in that situation. You had the yellow jersey, and your teammates are in front of you. You know, and especially the last week, man. The last week of a Grand Tour, and even in the Tour more. I mean, you know, after 2 weeks, everybody's dead. They're all super tired. But you know, there's a difference between suffering and you know, being the in the race and actually, you know, having to undergo what another team decides. And then there's the difference between being the teammates of the leader. They're all suffering, but you look back and you see that yellow jersey in your wheel. Yeah. It's a different way of suffering. It's different. Yeah. And you can see this. You can see this with UAE. You know, I mean, to me, one of the guys who impresses me the most is Niels Pollitt, Bradley. I mean, that guy, you know, he was pulling the whole Tourmalet yesterday, and guys you can clearly see, okay, there's many different objectives in the race, but you know, for a mountain stage, there's probably 20 guys who want to do a good performance, and the rest is just hanging in there. And you know, when it really starts to hurt, you know, they're getting dropped or they're looking for a group. But yeah, I mean, with a guy like Pogačar, it's a different. I mean, it's a pleasure to suffer. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask you actually. Speaking of leaders, what has been the reaction in Belgium and of Remco's withdrawal from the race yesterday? I've seen a few things in the British media and stuff, but more importantly in Belgium, what's been the reaction to his withdrawal?
I mean, you know, obviously, first of all, it's disappointment, right? Everybody was hoping that he could at least be on the podium again. And of course,
because I've seen a fair bit of criticism on other networks about his withdrawal and about, you know, really questioning his character as to whether he climbed off too early, whether, you know, he needed someone to just tell him to get on with it and things like that. So that's why I was asking. I was interested to see.
No, I've seen those comments too, even from some, you know, people who are commenting on TV, ex-professional cyclists.
Yeah, I think that's the same one.
Yeah. I don't, I mean, listen, there's only one person who knows, or his team who knows what's going on. And, there's obviously something going on with his fitness. If he's sick or getting sick, whatever, or not recovering, I think we cannot judge on that.
No.
Listen, and the way I can see it, in 3 days in a row, really having a bad day, I think he did the right thing. It serves nothing that he stays in the race to be in the gruppetto. I mean, and especially Bradley, the way things cycling has changed. It's not like all of a sudden you're out of GC and because you're a little off, you're not even good enough anymore to go in breakaways and try to win the stage. It's the level so high that the stage wins are unbelievably difficult. So
look, and for all the criticism and people pitching in and saying what they think, no one, only Remco knows how he's feeling.
Exactly.
And who are we to question him, really? He'll make the decision. It's his career, and he'll make the decision. And again, 8 weeks from now, 9 weeks from now, we could be talking about him as just winning the world title, and it's all forgotten. So
exactly. Yeah. Well, it often, meet big champions, and especially guys with a champion mentality, which Remco is, right? Sometimes they get knocked down and then they come back okay, say, wow, this is just amazing. Yeah. He's that kind of guy, right? I think a lot depends, especially for the World Championships in Rwanda, about Pogacar's intentions, how he recovers. I'm assuming he wants to go to the World Championships again today to make it 2 in a row. So
yeah. I wonder, is there any possibility he might do the Vuelta? Or is it,
there is, one thing is for sure, of course, and it can always change after the Tour, but from the beginning of the year, Jonas has the Vuelta on his calendar. So Pogacar, there's been talks. It's not been confirmed, but there's been talks that he was going to do the Vuelta.
Yeah.
I think Pogacar is in this to check off little objectives, So the Vuelta is the only Grand Tour that he's missing right now. He's won the Giro, he's won the Tour. He's probably going to win a 4th time now. So having the Vuelta as soon as possible, but obviously check that box. And, what would be better than doing the Vuelta against his biggest rival, right? If Tadej goes to the Vuelta and Jonas is not there, well, then okay, well, it's not, it's not going to be a race.
Yeah.
But I personally think he's going to prioritize the Worlds.
Yeah. Speaking of prioritizing, I get the sense that Tadej has had Mont Ventoux on his radar for a while now, this last few days. And as we were saying on the main show, if there's one stage you want to have on your Palmares in the Tour de France, it's Mont Ventoux, isn't it?
Mont Ventoux. It's epic. It's a monster of a climb. And as we said in the other day, Bradley, it looks to me like Tadej has chosen the stages where he has been beaten to make a statement.
Yeah.
At least that's, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's Ventoux and Col de la Loze. Those are his 2 main goals, in my opinion, because he got dropped there from Jonas. Didn't lose the Tour, but he was dropped, and then Col de la Loze, of course, that he lost the Tour there. So,
do you know what will be interesting, Johan? It's if he has indeed marked Mont Ventoux, and in the way he races, and he has raced on these climbs all year, Dauphiné, the other day on Hautecam. If he goes early on Mont Ventoux, and we know how hard that is up to Chalet Renard. It's in average 10%, something like that.
Yeah, I think you can say
the possibility of how much time do you think he could take on Mont Ventoux if he goes early? We could be talking minutes.
Yeah,
but it also suits Jonas, this climb as well, we have to say.
Yeah, the question is, is it necessary? It's not necessary to go early, right? I've said, Bradley, since many months, the way Pogacar is racing this year and the level he has, if he races conservatively and makes no mistakes, there's nobody who can beat him.
No.
So I would definitely recommend him to not do anything stupid. There's no need to go from early on and set the fastest time of Ventoux, because it can backfire. Ventoux is a very strange climb. I mean, we've all done it, but to me, it's the climb that it's the most difficult to understand. It's like 10 kilometers, 10%, 10%. You get out of the forest, and then you have these 7 kilometers where
with the wind, depending on the wind direction as well.
You can feel like you're riding against the wall all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I have no doubt that he can win on Ventoux, but he doesn't have to attack early on.
He does. He does for our entertainment.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, with this guy, it's crazy. But anyway, back to Tim Wellens. I just wanted to point out also before. I mean, first of all, Tim Wellens wins the stage. Campenaert second. Julien Alaphilippe. He comes back very late. Beats Wout van Aert in the sprint and thinks he has won, which was strange to see. So afterwards, we hear the director say that since the crash, his radio was beat up and didn't have any radio communication anymore. But I mean, that's where you see how much these. I mean, and if you look at the images, right? No radio communication, so he's in that group. Wellens, for example, it's possible he couldn't have seen it, but Campenaert was just in front, no?
Yeah, yeah.
But he comes from behind Wout, so it's possible he didn't see him. I mean, what a comeback! I mean, he was when he. Yeah. You didn't see did you see the crash?
I saw the pictures afterwards of him sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
It looked like he did broken collarbone,
holding his shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But anyway, Tim Wellens, I did a bit of research. So he is not the first person in his family to win a Tour de France stage. So his dad is Leo Wellens. He was a professional cyclist, rode for some Spanish teams. Then there's Johan Wellens, that's his uncle, who was a professional. And then Paul Wellens was the best of the three. So his uncle rode for Rally. The big rally team. His uncle won 2 stages in the Tour de France and also won the Tour of Switzerland and many other races. So he keeps the family tradition of winning Tour de France stages open. So anyways, nice, super nice win. Bradley, anything else you want to add?
No.
Today?
I think I'm just looking forward to Mont Ventoux now. It's going to be an exciting stage.
Yeah, I mean it's flattish. I mean you can never say flat, because we all know how up and down it is over there. But it's they call it monopuerto or unipuerto, so just one climb, right? But what a climb! Yeah, I mean, and on top of that, I mean, in the Tour de France, the amount of people there are on the Ventoux. I'm pretty sure you remember the moment you take that left turn. What's it called? Saint-Estève. The little village. You take a left and it's like uphill, like straight, and I mean, people everywhere.
Yeah.
Before we talk about, tomorrow's a rest day, but let's do our daily Ventum trivia, Bradley. Yesterday's question was about the Tourmalet. The Queen of the Pyrenees needs no introduction. The Tourmalet is the most climbed mountain. In what year was its first feature in the Tour de France? The answer was 1910. So very early, right after 7th edition already. Went up the Ventoux. Imagine what that must have been with those bikes, Bradley.
I know, it's hard to imagine. But that's what's so great about the Tour de France, isn't it? That we still go over this pass, and nothing's changed other than the road surface. It's what makes it such a great race. It's the same with Mont Ventoux. In 2 days' time, Mont Ventoux. It's 60 years this year since Tommy Simpson won the world title. And of course, 2 years after he won the world title, he lost his life on Mont Ventoux. So, and we're going up it again, and the riders are going up in the same manner that Tom went up, trying to win the Tour de France. And he lost his life that day. And it's that's what makes this race so special. It's why we love it. It's because of the people that have gone before us.
Can you imagine in 1910 going up the Tourmalet with those bikes? So no derailleur.
No, I can't.
No gears.
It's hard enough with the bikes today.
I mean, it's crazy. It's just unbelievable. Yeah. Question for today, stage 15 question. Which rider holds the record for the longest successful solo breakaway starting from Carcassonne in 1947? So in 1947, there was a stage starting from Carcassonne. Who's the rider who holds the record for the longest successful breakaway? There's 4 choices, so this is a multiple choice question. A, Louison Bobet. B, Albert Bourlon. C, Jean Robic. And D, André Maillet. So one of those 4 riders has the longest successful solo breakaway. Send your best guess to ventumracing.com/themove, and you can enter into this year's contest, a grand prize of $5,000 store credit towards any Ventum bike you want to purchase. If you don't want to wait until the end of the tour, Ventum is also offering a standing discount for the remainder of the tour. On the whole site, 10% off with the code THEMOVE10, and 20% off if you want to purchase an NS1 road bike with the code NS120. All right, Bradley, rest day tomorrow. I've heard in the show that you're going to ride up Independence Pass tomorrow with your NS1.
We're going to try on my Ventum NS1. Yes, give it a run out.
Come on, mate.
My only motivation for climbing, Johan, is to enjoy the descent back down.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, anybody who has won the Tour de France will go up that climb. I mean, you won the tour, so this, as long as you have time and you're not in a hurry, I'm sure you will have you'll have a blast.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Okay, Bradley, we'll be back for the Mont Ventoux not tomorrow, the day after. Thanks, man. As every day, and speak soon.
Speak soon, man. See you later.